guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to review for you a brand new palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's the Modern Renaissance palette. So if you're interested in seeing a review, swatches, in comparison to other palettes, then just keep on watching. So the Modern Renaissance palette is available on the Anastasia Beverly Hills website, and it retails for $42, and it is different than any other eyeshadow palette from Anastasia because this is the first permanent palette. All the other eyeshadow palettes have been limited edition. So getting into the Modern Renaissance palette, the packaging is very sleek and it is velvet, so it's kind of similar to like NARS or Lorac, where the product just kind of sticks to the top of it, but hopefully it doesn't get too messy with time. So getting into the actual eyeshadows, there's 14 shades and there's 11 matte and 3 shimmer shades. And this is actually really different than the previous Anastasia palettes just because of the different range of colors in this palette. I feel like a lot of the other palettes have like really pigmented, bold shades and a few neutrals, but this is the most neutral palette that I have from Anastasia. And what really convinced me in getting this palette was something Norvina posted on Instagram when they were doing sneak peeks about what the palette actually looked like. So she said, beauty fades and the real challenge was creating a palette that is useful to your daily life once it's no longer brand new. And I feel like a lot of times, like with makeup that's hyped up, like the Sweet Peach palette or like anything that's coming out and everybody wants their hands on it, like you don't really know why you want it or if you're really going to use that product. But once she said that and just seeing all the colors in here, I'm like, okay, these are colors that you could use every day for like your go-to looks, really simple everyday looks that you're going to do more so than like big pops of color with like teal and orange and like all these crazy colors that you might get in other palettes that might be like glamorous at first, but then at the end of the day, you're just going to stick to like your brown smoky eye or really like light makeup every day. So I really do love that they created a neutral palette that probably more people can relate to and use on a daily basis. And with this palette, I was really surprised that 11 out of the 14 shades are matte. Usually with the Anastasia palettes, most of them are pretty much all shimmer, and I love the Anastasia shimmer shadows. They're so pretty and they have like such great pigmentation. But I think the biggest benefit with this palette is that you're getting so many great neutral transition shades that you might not find in other palettes, or if you usually use like multiple palettes, this is a palette that has like every type of transition shade you would want. So the only downside of having so many matte shades in this palette is that they are a bit more soft and powdery than the shimmer shades. So you just need to be careful when you're picking up product with your eyeshadow brush to not pick up too much, otherwise it'll get a bit too messy. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you guys in a bit closer so you can see swatches of all of the eyeshadows. So starting off with this top row of shadows. So these are the top 7 shades, and the names of the shadows are very weird, so just bear with me on them. So the first one is Tempera, which is a shimmer shade, Golden Ochre, which is the lightest transition shade, Vermeer, Buen Fresco, Antique Bronze, Love Letter, which is one of my favorites in this palette, and Cypress Umber, which is the darkest shade in this palette. So moving on to this second row. So this first shade is Raw Sienna. Then you have Burnt Orange, Primavera, which is on my lid right now, Red Ochre, Venetian Red, Warm Taupe, and Regal. I think this row is definitely my favorite. It has a lot more warm color combinations that are really pretty, and the first row has more of the cool tone shades. So I'm wearing a lot of these center shades on my eyes today, and you can tell there are neutral, warm, and cool tone shades in this palette. They're all kind of the same color family, which I like too because you can create a lot of different looks with different undertones. So I just want to show you this palette compared to a few others. I have the Self-Made palette from Anastasia. This released in the fall. You can tell it just has more range of colors. Like it has the random teal shade and a couple more purple shades. Like it's a little bit more all over the place. And I've honestly used this palette just a couple times for the neutral shades like Buttery, Hot Chocolate, and Pink Champagne, which is my favorite eyeshadow of all time. But just this kind of random selection I wasn't really feeling so much, so I never really gravitate towards it. And just so you know, this palette retailed for $35 and this one retails for $42. I'm not sure why the price increased by $7 when it's the same amount of product, but it's still a lot cheaper than like Urban Decay or any other high-end palette that's more like the $50, $60 range. So can't complain about it too much, but I just want to know why it was upped by $7 because that is a significant difference. And I also wanted to compare this palette to a palette that I feel like is incredibly similar with the color selections, and that's the Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly palette. So if you look at the palettes up close, I feel like the Modern Renaissance palette is like the full-size version of the Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly palette. It has like very similar colors, like the warm orange shades and also the purple shades. And with the Modern Renaissance palette, you're getting a lot more product for just a couple dollars more than the Peanut Butter and Jelly palette. Alright guys, so that's pretty much all of my thoughts on this palette. The only thing I needed to mention was that it also does come with a brush, and it's actually a really good quality brush. I used it on my eyeshadow today. It comes with a blending side and a flat side. So if you plan on picking up this palette, or if you have it already, please let me know in the comments down below. I feel like there's so many great eyeshadow palettes that are being released right now that I just had to prioritize which one I was going to get and why I wasn't going to get the other one, because I want them all, but I just do not need to spend that money on eyeshadows when I clearly have so many already. So if you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And if you couldn't tell, I'm actually getting married in a couple days, like 12 days from today. So please remember to follow me on Instagram and Snapchat to keep up with all of the things that I'm going to be doing in the last couple days before my wedding, and also on my honeymoon in Mexico. Like, I can't believe I'm going out of the country in like 2 weeks. So just follow me on there if you want to keep up with what I'm going to be doing. I'm actually doing a lot of really exciting things in the next couple weeks. So I'll leave links for everything down below, my blog, Instagram, Snapchat, and I'll talk to you soon in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.